Welcome back to bazookatraining.com here in the sparring drill section. Today we're focusing on shelling up our opponent, okay? So the idea is, in the past we talked about you never wanting to get shelled up, but you want to shell your opponent up because you can get a lot of good benefits, right? If I shell Matt up and he's protecting his head, it lets me hit the body, it lets me crack here, I can enter the shell, I can crack him in any ways. He's in such a compromised position he can't do anything, so that's where I want him, okay? But the idea is not what you do once you get the shell, it's how do we get the shell. So I'm going to show you a few different ways, okay? There's three main ways you can do it, all right? So the first is using feints, and I think that's one of the most important. Now, a lot of fighters come with a high guard shell, but if you notice in boxing and MMA, you'll see a lot more hands movement this way, right? So if someone's hands are moving this way, they're evasive, they're looking to counter, it's very hard for me to want to attack someone, right? It's more risky because they're in a position to counter better. But when they're stuck covering their head with their chin down here, it's not as scary to be able to enter. So by shelling somebody up, it allows you to enter safely to the clinches, to your attacks, okay, to your angles, all very important stuff, right? Safety is the number one thing. So the first way, if our hands are moving, right, what I'm going to do a lot of times is I might throw a punch here now, or a punch here. Now, whether I throw a jab or a cross, okay, Matt thinks something's coming. So, for example, I throw a hard right hand, boom, then all of a sudden, boom, I feint. Okay, now I got a reaction. And you saw the reaction was, boom, Matt covering his head right away. So what I can do now, again, I hit the shell, I feint, and then I can come in here and I could attack safely, pin his hands to him, move, attack the body, create an exit. It's safe for me to come and attack. When he was here, I didn't want to enter, right? So now when I get him to shell, I could attack and move very safely. Now, even if he's shelled up, right, and I throw an attack and he goes to counter, I'm already out of range, right? I've already got what I needed, right? I already stole what I had to, and now I'm out, okay? So, using the feints first, but to make a feint more believable, I have to throw the punches, right? Unless they're very jumpy, right? And we're starting a fight, and I just feint, and I get that, that's okay. But a lot of times, to get a good feint, you gotta use the hands, okay? So, again, throwing my punches, and then boom, reacting, okay? And then attacking off of that. Now, what I want you to understand too, right, we got the shell, okay? But it's important when you feint, I'm going to give you a little bonus tip here, is when you feint, make sure you turn your shoulders to put yourself in a position to counter. So what I mean by this is, and to attack, if I throw a right hand, if my feint's here, okay, I'm going to load up this side to be able to throw a left side attack, right? If I throw maybe a hook, and then all of a sudden I'm here, I want to come off the other hand, right? Boom, hard right hand, feint. And now I can come and attack this way, create my angles, all right? So using the feints and straight punches. Now, sometimes it's even more difficult. A lot of people are more comfortable with their hands, so they're not biting on the feints. They keep moving, all right? I'm trying to. Now, when I feint, what are most people going to do? They're going to back up, right? I don't know what to do now. Now they're out of range. So another strategy could be is pressuring them against the ropes. Now with the rope against the back, and if I feint, they can't move backwards, and then I could work my way in to attack, all right? But what's even better is I use my legs, okay? So if the hands are here, what I do now is I aim for a body kick. Now, with the body kick, I always teach two ways. I want him to block it, okay? It's not a scoring strike. Do arm kicks score and hurt? Yes, they do. But this one is here. I want him to block. Ideally, you know, with a nice Dutch block too, right? I throw a nice round kick, boom, okay? So he's being dynamic. I can't shell him up, boom, okay? So I got the shell position. Boom, create my angle, create my exit, okay? That whole second part is what we'll discuss and you'll get into in other episodes, right? But I got the shell, right? I'm feinting, he's not reacting, he's not biting on. I throw a kick, boom, I'm in. Okay, boom, I can create an attack. So by kicking the arm, he's going to be able to bite on it. Now, what I could do now is I'm using the kick right now to get him to block to enter, right? So boom, I kick, now he's here. Now I can come in, attack. If I use my left kick, I'm falling into that inside position, into my attacking. But what I could also do is kick, right? Whether it's a low kick or a body kick, ideally body kick, because we want to keep the hands pinned to their head. So after I throw this big kick, right? he moves again, all of a sudden, okay, he's going to anticipate the body kick. So he might even brace himself to get his hands ready. So I kick once, boom, he blocks. All of a sudden, boom, yes, I got in. I could attack, right? So I use that to kind of step in. Okay, same thing with my left side. Say I throw a hard front kick. Now all of a sudden he thinks a front kick's coming. He based himself down, put his hips down, and got down, right? So he's trying to block. So I front kick, boom. All of a sudden, boom, I'm here, okay? Now, I'm just gonna give the reference. You get the shell, okay? So from the shell here, the main things I wanna see is either you're gonna clinch for safety, okay? Or create an angle to the left, create an angle to the right, or I can push them off, attack, and then create a safe exit, okay? So, quick little recap for today's lesson. Okay? You need to shell your opponent up to attack. And to do it safely, that's the best way to do it. If your opponent's unorthodox, dynamic, I can't shut him down, right? So what I have to do is I'm going to start feinting, get reactions. If they're not biting on that, I'm going to throw a punch and then feint my way into attack, okay? If that's still not enough and they're moving, I'm going to start kicking. Boom, kick to get the shell. Or what I can do is I can kick, boom, and then use my knee feint to get inside, get the shell, create my exit, and attack, okay? So to have more success landing, get the shell. But getting the shell requires some fight IQ that you just learned in today's episode, all right? Hope you enjoyed today. We'll see you next time here at bazookatraining.com.